Hi everyone. Today I am reading one of my favorite books about how to be a good friend and how to treat other people. They might be friends, they might be people in your family, or people that you just kind of see and that you might be able to interact with. And I hope that you will like this story as much as I do and that you will watch it as many times as you want. That's why we're reading it within our call this morning, and we're putting it on a video recording so that you can watch it whenever you'd like to, and you can show it to your family and any other friends you have, because this is a really helpful way to think about how we can help people feel good and how we can be kind to other people. So the story is How Full Is Your Bucket for Kids? This is written by Tom Rath and Maurie Reckmeyer, and it's illustrated by Maurie J. Manning. So I hope that you'll be thinking about this and thinking about how you can help people have a full bucket while we read this. Okay? How full is your bucket for kids? Here we go. Felix was putting one of the last blocks on his tower when his little sister came in. I want to build with you, she said. Felix scowled. Go away. You're too little. I'm big. Stand back. You'll knock it over. I can be very careful. Go play with your baby toys, Anna. Oh, look at how she's feeling and thinking about him now. This says Felix. She looks like she's feeling angry. She takes her stuff down and she goes, thwack, and knocks it down. Grandpa! Grandpa shook his head. Felix, you just dipped from your sister's bucket. Like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. Invisible means you can't see it. So it's just kind of there, but nobody can see it. So like everyone else, Anna has an invisible bucket. When it's empty, she feels bad. But when it's full, she feels great. Didn't you ever notice your own bucket? Invisible bucket? Sometimes Felix couldn't quite tell when his grandfather was joking. But the next morning, when Felix woke up, there it was, a small gray bucket floating above his head. When Felix came down to have breakfast, his mom was in a hurry. I've got a meeting this morning, and it's almost time to go. Anna, sit still. Do you see? It looks like Felix is reaching. Felix slipped, and choco wheat scattered across the floor. Felix, yelled his mom, you should have used the stool to reach that. Felix could feel his bucket tip and big invisible drips spill out. Drip, drip. Ha ha, Anna laughed as she crunched the cereal with her shoe. Drip. Get the broom and clean that up before you miss the bus, scolded his mom. With the school bus honking, Felix quickly swept up the choco wheats and grabbed the last blueberry muffin. But before he could even take one bite, Buster jumped up and grabbed the muffin from his hand. Drip. So look at that. He had a pretty full bucket, but now a lot of drips are spilling out. This kid says, hey, look at Felix's new backpack. My baby brother has one just like it. Drip. Felix. Drip. They're not talking nicely about him, he thinks, so some drops are coming out. This guy says, watch out, shrimp. Drip. It was still morning, and Felix's bucket was almost empty. Do you see that? He used to have much more water, but all these kind of bad things have been happening, and people haven't been that kind to him. So now his bucket is really low, almost empty. As he watched his classmates walk into the room, he secretly hoped they would trip and fall. That's what it feels like when you have an empty bucket. Look at his face. He looks like he's feeling really unhappy. He's kind of grumpy or sad maybe. Felix slumped into his seat and waited for something else bad to happen. Mrs. Bumblenickel walked slowly up to his desk and handed him a paper. He could hardly bear to look. Felix, you wrote a wonderful story. Would you please share it with the class? Felix grinned and felt a big drop land right in his bucket. Drop. The class grew quiet. They laughed at all the right places. He says, the Gigantosaurus who wanted a pet. By me, Felix. They oohed at the scary parts. When Felix finally read the end, everyone clapped. Even Emily, who sat next to him and didn't usually like dinosaurs. Felix felt a whole shower of drops land in his bucket. Maybe the day wouldn't be so bad after all. So look, now some good things are happening. His teacher gave him a compliment, said he wrote a really nice story and she wanted him to read it to the class. All the kids liked his story, and so he got a lot of drops inside his bucket. He's feeling a little bit better now. Let's see, he got a note from his mom at his lunch. It says, I love you. Drop. The PE teacher says, team captains today are Veronica and Felix. Drop. Nice cow. It's a dog. Well, nice colors there, Felix. Drop. Cool laser ant backpack, Felix. Drop. So see how all those compliments and kind words are helping fill his bucket? By the afternoon, Felix's bucket was nearly full. At recess, when he looked around, Felix suddenly realized that his grandpa was right. Everyone else had a bucket too. Take a look for a minute at that illustration, at the picture. You can see different people's buckets. I noticed this person has a pretty full bucket, so do these, so does this girl, but some people have kind of empty buckets. This person looks kind of empty. This person looks like his bucket is low and kind of empty. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. He says, let me help you. Drop, drop. Here's your baseball, catch. He says, thanks, dude. Drop, drop. He says, hi, I'm Felix. Is this your first day at school? This boy says, yes, my name is Amir. Drop, drop. The strange thing was that for every drop Felix helped put in someone else's bucket, he felt another drop in his own bucket. That's kind of an important part of the story that I want you to make sure you understand. When you help someone else and you put a drop in their bucket by saying something nice or doing something kind, they get a drop in their bucket so they start to feel better. And you get a drop in your bucket at the same time so you both feel even better than you were already feeling. When Felix burst in the door after school, he shouted, "You were right, Grandpa. I do have a bucket, and I understand how it works." Then he saw Anna's torn doll. "Bad dog," he almost yelled. But then he thought, dogs might have invisible buckets too. Your doll will be okay, Anna," said Felix. "Mom will fix her." Look at that, she was crying and yelling. "Until Mom fixes her, do you want to help me build the tallest building in the world with my blocks?" And so they did. Look at that, he did something kind for her. He remembered that she wanted to build, and he put some drops in her bucket by including her and being so nice. And now they both have full buckets, and they're feeling happy because their buckets are so full. That's the end. So I hope that you will keep paying attention to your own bucket and see how you are feeling, and also pay attention to the buckets of the people in your family and maybe some of your friends, and try to notice if there's something that you could do to fill up some other people's buckets, because remember, that will put a drop in their bucket so they feel good and a drop in your bucket. Or if you ever notice that you're not feeling very happy and your bucket is low, you could also tell people and say, "My bucket's a little bit low. Could you help put a drop in it? Maybe you could help me feel better." And if you watch this story together, they'll know what you're talking about, and they'll be able to help you put a drop in your bucket so you can both feel good. So I'm excited to hear about how you help people in your family and your friends get full buckets. And we're going to be working on that all week. So you make sure you let us know when you're putting drops in other people's buckets. And Mrs. Rodriguez and I will let you know when you put drops in our buckets too, because we like thinking about that with you. Everybody take care and make sure you're being kind to each other, and we will all be together again very soon.